And go. Let's go. We got people in the chat ready. Dave Bruman, just Bex. We got a special guest host for today, Gus.
I can see him not now.
Yeah. Did you file your taxes already? If you're not, then perfect. All right. There you go.
Here we are.
Hey.
New house, Gus. Happy Monday.
What up?
Happy Monday.
All right, everybody. Happy Monday. Welcome to the Gus Store. Oh my God. JFP on the chat already.
Oh yeah, JFP.
You see who's with me, JFP? All right. Happy Monday. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Guys Next Door. It's April tax month. And
Actually-
guess who we have for our guest host for today? New house. Hey, New
Your
House.
favorite CPA by day, DJ by night.
Absolutely.
There you go.
And
How's it-
is it not your tax day tomorrow? Like, don't you guys have to file by tomorrow?
I think it's the 15th. Wait, it's the 15th.
Today's the
what
14th.
date? Yeah, it's tomorrow. Dude, oh my God! I
Deadline.
Oh my God!
Tomorrow.
that-
Deadline.
I did not plan that. I did not plan that. I'm gonna say, people, I did not plan to
Sure.
have our guest host for New House, but it's perfect, right? So thank you for joining us this Monday, New House. Pat
Oh, my
cannot join
pleasure.
us today, but I think it's about time to bring you in. I know we got JFP twice already, but we had fun. 2 episodes last season with you on, so I think it's time to come back, right? How's it
Yeah,
going?
I'm always happy to be here. I'm doing well. You know, I don't have to file. Well, I filed my taxes already, obviously, but
Yeah.
we only got another 16 days up here, so we're good.
Yeah, so for everybody who's watching the show, you know, if you haven't filed your taxes after the show, I'll give you New House's number so you can do it. He's doing this as a side gig, everybody. So yeah, thank you so much. You know, Gus, of course, is here. Gus, you filed your taxes already?
Oh yeah.
You probably
yeah,
got your
definitely.
refund already.
No, not yet. No.
Not
I
yet.
think that's gonna be delayed. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I mean, I always pray I have a refund, but mostly I don't. It's always I'm paying. Goddamn government, you know. It's always I'm paying every damn year.
You need a better accountant.
Yeah, I guess I might, you know, hit you up next year, New House, and
Yeah,
see if
just
you can do
remember.
my expenses.
Just remember, I'm a Canadian, right? So Canadian taxes.
That's true. Well, don't worry, you don't have any tariff. You know, I'm not gonna ask for any tariff on this show. So
Yeah, let's not.
and
let's
we're gonna
leave
leave it like
alone.
that. Just leave it like that. That is like the end of what that discussion is. Okay, everybody, welcome. I know we have a few new viewers right now because of our guests. So welcome to the Guys Next Door. This is the three guys next door. Next door is me, Mr. Coops, Gus, and Sam Decision. But we have a guest host today, New House. But I think it's gonna be fun. I know you're here for the guests, and we're gonna get hit it up with them. after this first segment. So let's kick it up. Episode 38. The will always say you always ask on the guys next door. First question: how was your weekend? So Newhouse, you're the guest. How's your weekend, buddy?
I wish I could remember what my weekend was like. Um, no, nothing too exciting. It was kind of miserable up here, so we just did family stuff and you know hung out around the house. Stuff you do when you're middle aged and married.
It sounds like the three of us. Okay, no fun stuff happening over the
No
weekend.
fun stuff. No nothing. No gigs. No, didn't go to
Oh
anybody's
yeah,
gig. No
how
nothing.
was your
So,
how was your gig?
oh, that
What was
was a
that like?
while ago. That was like
How was
6 weeks
that?
ago.
Tell us
Oh,
how was that gig?
okay. So really quickly, I won a contest to play at a well-known after-hours club in Toronto. Uh,
Nice.
the original gig, I messed up really bad because my USBs didn't work. But they did give me another chance. It went really well. Instead of playing at 4 o'clock in the morning, I played at midnight, which is a lot easier on my body. But it was fantastic. Had had a bunch of Twitch viewers actually come out, uh,
Oh, that's awesome.
which was cool. And I'll name drop because I always name drop her. Ali K came out, which was awesome.
Oh, who's
Um,
Ali K? Just
yeah,
Ali K. Oh
yeah,
my
no big
God,
deal.
really? Yeah, no big deal. It's just Ali
No
K.
big, no
Whatever.
big deal.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
so yeah, it was
Yeah.
fantastic. But yeah, that was like 6 weeks ago now, so it's
But still,
distant,
dude,
distant.
still,
So cool.
that's your first gig, right?
Nope,
And
nope, not my first gig. Oh, I've played before.
oh, you did, but still,
It was,
it's been
it was a big
really
one.
great.
It was a
Big
big
one.
one.
It's
Yeah.
it's a big one. So congrats, man. We're
Thank you.
happy for
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
Hope
Appreciate that.
we can see more, or we can visit in one of your gigs. So
Yeah,
hopefully soon.
absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, awesome. How about you, Gus? How's your weekend, buddy?
Um, it was an expensive weekend because our water
What?
heater broke.
Oh
So
no.
yep,
Oh my God.
to spend about yeah. The bad thing is about is cleaning it up, right? So had to clean the basement. So had to
Wait.
throw a bunch of
How's your shoe collection? How's your Jordans? They're
those are
not there.
fine. Those on the other side. Yeah, that's the first
Okay,
thing I
good.
checked.
Woo!
The shoes. Yep. Yeah. So
Mm,
I did put the humidifier in there just to make sure. But it's on the other side that was flooded. So I had to throw some boxes
Jordans?
that are
Uh,
empty. No, boxes that are empty. I still have like PS5, PS4 boxes in there. I don't know. I collect boxes, I guess.
I do the same. What's up with that? I mean, like, you not you keep telling yourself you're gonna, oh, if I try to flip it, or I try to sell it, the boxes are gonna
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
there. So I keep boxes too, but only the big ones. So yeah, I see what you're saying. How about you, Newhouse? You collect boxes of stuff you buy. You're right.
Oh yeah, there we go.
You,
Okay. Yeah, I have every
yeah.
iPhone box, like all the boxes
Uh-huh.
from like my DJ stuff. Like it doesn't go because I might move someday and I need the boxes to put them in so they get moved properly.
Uh,
Even the iPhone.
Oh, of course. Well, those things I just collect because I'm weird.
Well, we're all weird. I do too. You're gonna see something like an old iPhone, like 3, lying around. Hey, where's this come from?
Yeah.
Somewhere you guys could do it. Well, it looks like not a lot of excitement for both of you, and an expensive one. Mine is also no excitement. I just stayed at home. It's also crappy weather. We went to Costco, and you know how that goes. If you go to
Yeah.
Costco, $200 down the drain.
expensive.
I never go to Costco without spending something, right? If you can get out of Costco for $100, you should give yourself a pat in the back, because I think that's an achievement. I'm not sure about you guys. Always there,
Yeah.
especially if you bring your wife with you. It's always something in Costco. I know. Well, I
Yeah.
hope she's not
Is-
listening right
yeah,
now because I'm gonna
is
hear it.
Grace here? Because
That's probably there. She's probably say, every time, like oh, do we need this? Oh no, we don't need that. Oh, look at that shed. Like, what the fuck do we need a shed for? Like, oh, this is gonna be great. Like, how many sheds do we need? Like, but I gotta say though, Costco has almost everything. Even clubs right now, golf clubs. Like, I'm surprised. Like, I mean, that's your Costco. All
yeah,
right. So great weekend, guys. And way to kick it off. Today is another great week. But before we introduce our guest, that's just gonna go real quick on the NBC Rate Train. So NBC Rate Train is our Sunday rate train, where we feature a lot of different DJs, and we do this every Sunday for 3 years now. So here's the lineup for yesterday. Another great lineup. We got a bunch of come. There's no newcomers this week, but there's a few that hasn't played in a long time that came back to play. DJ Peach came back. I think he played when he was starting, and he was not a partner yet. So thank you, DJ Peach, for getting back. And then we got Federico, who hasn't played in a while. We got DJ Amy Alexander. Big Bottom D also hasn't played in a year or so. Thank you for coming back. And we got some of our regulars there. Word to you, PhDJ Harmacist, We Danced One, Fathom, DJ Big Ben. Thank you so much for supporting the train. We can't do it without you guys. So for anybody who's listening right now, we do a Sunday rate train. So every Sunday, hit me up if you want to be a part of the NBC rate train. I think we welcome everybody, whether you're starting, a newcomer, or you're pushing for partner. We would like to help. So that is NBHD rate train for you guys. So without further ado, I will put our guest on the stage right now. They've been waiting. We've been yapping about taxes and water heaters, but I think we're ready to get them on the stage. Here they are. Welcome, guys. Our guest for today, we got Bex from Chicago and Militia. So, how are you, ladies? Thank you so much for allowing us to invite you and joining the show. How's it going? How's your week so far?
Thanks so much for having us.
All right. So I would like to give them a proper introduction, right? So first up, we got Bex from Chicago. Jazz influence, deep house obsessed, and always repping that Chicago soul. She's now in Seattle, but she's just like a DJ from Chicago. She's creating smooth, jackin, soulful, and funky house groove that just hit it right. You can catch her on the Deep Dish. I like that. I like that name on the show.
Thank you.
Serving nothing but pure vibes. Welcome, Bex. How are you doing? And welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing pretty well. My streams on Sunday. And when I started streaming, I knew I wanted to start streaming on Sundays, and I always started at 4-ish is what I say. I'm usually around 15 to 30 minutes to sometimes 45 minutes late. But they keep going longer and longer. So usually on Mondays I'm pretty tired. But I was talking to Militia. I was like, I'll be good for the interview. I just gotta squeeze a disco nap in. So we took the nap, and now we're great.
Thank you so much for letting us, interview you on this Monday.
Thank you.
And then we have Militia. I would say a rising force on Twitch, who has found her rhythm and her people through her music. Her sets blend deep techno, progressive soundscape, some melodic, creative, immersive journeys that pull you in, and put you in a good mood to listen to your vibes. Welcome, Militia. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me. Yes, my tastes are ever changing. I always make fun of that. I don't like trance, but it's not true. I've been playing a lot of tech trance lately. I definitely love techno. It's my number one, but always trying to find something new. And I was saying today in my stream, I got to talk to Bex about house because I need to find something that I like out there. There's got to be something for me. But thanks for having me. It's great to be here.
Yes. Both of you ladies have different styles. I watch you guys. Obviously both of you has been on NBHD, but It just intriguing, and I think a lot of people will love to hear, your journey from the very beginning, how you started on Twitch. Bex, you want to tell the story of how Bex got into Twitch and how we got Deep Dish?
Sure, absolutely. So I kind of knew I was gonna dabble into get into DJing. I mean, I was obsessed with house music. There's a club in Seattle called the Monkey Loft that I was going to all the time. But even back in Chicago, I would go out and see Derek Carter. Like I have this shirt that I made. I would go see Derek Carter and Mark Farina and DJ Heather, who's on
Nice.
Twitch, and DJ Colette, who's on Twitch now too. And I would just, kind of get down. They would do these shows, and I was always really into the dancing aspect of it and just feeling the vibe of the music. And then I just start seeing more shows in Seattle, and my friends all of a sudden said, you're really obsessed with this stuff. Have you ever thought about becoming a DJ? And I was like, no, it's probably too technical for me. It's probably too time consuming. I'm not disciplined enough to really pick it up. And one of my friends was like, you don't need time. You don't need discipline. It's really easy. My roommate has a controller. Just come over sometime and practice. So that's what I did. And I was like, oh yeah, this isn't that bad. And I watched some YouTube videos, and eventually I got my own DJ 400. But it wasn't until, I want to say, early 2023, because I remember
Okay.
time my first dog passed away, and I was
Wow,
just
okay.
really kind of depressed and just doom scrolling on TikTok. And who did I find on TikTok but Whistleface? And I, heard what he was playing, and I was like, oh wait, this is the kind of music I like to get down to. I didn't know DJs were on TikTok. And he's on TikTok saying, hey, the sound's better on Twitch. And I was like, DJs are on Twitch? What is this? And so eventually I followed him to Twitch. And Whistleface is reading out to these different people. I think he rated out to Pat Richards at some point. So I found Pat Richards' community. He also rated
Okay.
Eduardo. And so I started watching Martino Eduardo, and I started watching all of these DJs, and I was like, this is really cool. This is amazing because I can see what they're doing. If they have deck cams, I can ask them what they're doing, what technique they just used, what music they're playing. This is really awesome. And that at some point somebody told me, if you really want to practice and get good at being a DJ, you should start your own stream. And I was like, never thought about that. But then I kind of sat with the idea, and, I had this handle, Bex from Chicago, as my Instagram handle, and I was just using it on Twitch. And I was like, wait a second though, wouldn't it be cool, because I really love deep house, would it not be pretty cool because I'm from Chicago, I could start my stream and I would call it the Deep Dish, like Chicago pizza, deep dish, deep house. And the more I thought about that, the more I was like, oh, that's a really good idea. And I actually need to do this before somebody else steals my idea and calls it
Patent it. Yep.
like somebody else from Chicago who's really into house is going to call their stream the deep dish. I got to get on this before they do. So yeah, a couple months after that, I want to say my first stream was September 2020.
23rd.
Yeah, that was my first stream, and just been loving it ever since.
It looks like it, because I see you, putting all those longer hours now, and a lot of new days. I think you're coming on every week, so that's awesome. So I guess basically, did you intend? So you did not. There's a lot of streamers that actually were just watching. How long have you been just watching before you actually decided to be to DJ on Twitch?
Watching before I DJ'd. So probably half a year.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah.
still a long time before you decide, right? Because there's people who I know just jump right to it. Grace just jumped right to it because we all said, I think all of us said, what the fuck is Twitch, right? And then all of a sudden, yeah, this is fucking cool, right? Because we all had that, and then and then all of a sudden we're all addicted to it, or we're all in it. That's
Exactly.
on COVID, and now even past COVID, we're all still here. Melissa, are you on the same? Did you started like that on Twitch, or what was your journey look like?
My story is interesting. 20 years ago, I was a big partier back in the day, and there's a funny photo out there of me trying to DJ on some 1200s, and there's a Febreze bottle in the foreground. So all you see is this giant bottle and little old me, what am I doing? It was so expensive and it was so hard. I was like, oh my God, I can't do this. So 20 years later, now we have technology, and
Right.
I live in a small town, and there's not a lot to do here. I have some health issues that prevent me from having all the fun I want to have. So I was thinking, what's the next best thing I could do? And out of nowhere, I was like, holy crap, I want to learn how to DJ. I've always wanted to. Let's just do it. I messaged my friend from Canada who's like 30 years older than me. I said, what deck should I
New
get?
house.
Phones.
30.
Hey, I'm not that old. Come on.
He hooked me up. He's like, get Tractor. And that was a big charade. Like, I'm surprised I even got a deck because there was like so much scams going on. But I finally got something on eBay. And I got it here and I hooked it up. And, you know, I just started playing with it. Then I don't know if it was me or my husband, but suggested something about Twitch. And I'm like, the same thing. There's DJs on Twitch. What? So I just created an account. And I think I played with my deck for a couple weeks and then just hopped right on to Twitch. I was like, what the heck? I'm just going to have some fun and learn how to do this. And I had no idea what I was in for. Like, I had no idea we'd start building a community and meeting people. You know, I've met some like Cold Storage and Techno have been amazing and helped me in my journey. I met some of them in Utah. And it's just, you know, when I think back to it, it's only been 5 months. I started DJing on this deck October,
5 months.
middle of October. I started streaming on November 4th. And I'm very
Okay.
proud to say that my 6-month stream anniversary will be on May 4th. May the 4th be with you.
Ooh.
And I got
Nice.
affiliate about just around a month into DJing. So that was really fun. Thanks to Cold Storage helping me with that. So yeah, it's, you know, I have no experience outside of just being a clubber 20 years ago. And I'm just discovering everything like a little DJ baby would. It's been really fun.
That's great. Did you guys ever remember your first track that you
Yes.
guys played when you started doing?
Oh, that's not the question I thought. I thought you were gonna ask like, what's the first song you heard? It was Children, Robert Miles. But
Oh, nice.
but I always tell the story of like my origin story is 2001. My friends at work took me to the Moby One Aerial Festival, and I back then, that was before I knew about the EDM scene and everything like that. And I was by myself. I don't know what happened to them. I'm standing there, and then there's this DJ, and I look, I'm like, Carl Cox, okay. And then I was like, this is techno, and that just started. The love for music for me was Carl Cox. So that's my origin story.
Nice.
fact,
Nice.
So,
Yeah, I don't know. I can't remember.
so funny you mentioned that. I actually went to the Area One in Toronto and saw Carl Cox.
That's the same one. Oh my god,
Is it?
that is it. Toronto.
Are you sure you guys
Holy
you got
shit.
the same?
I'm from Canada. I'm Canadian. I'm from my parents live in Ottawa.
Okay.
Wow, interesting.
I'll
So
be
how about you,
damned.
Ben? You're on the same flight. What was this? 2000?
That
You
was
said
2001.
2001. Wow.
Yeah.
Interesting. But Bex, how about you? Do you remember the first ever track you mixed? The first time you streamed?
No, I'm going to answer the question the way Militia did instead because
Yeah.
I don't remember. I mean,
Sure.
I remember having like, you know, like a playlist of songs that I like used over it. But the first track I mixed, no. But I can tell you my origin story because it was Lollapalooza 2008 when I saw Daft Punk.
Oh.
Yeah, and like I
What year was that? Sorry.
2008.
Okay.
Yeah, because they were
Great.
doing their Alive in 2008 tour. And I had heard Daft Punk before, but I wasn't really into anything you'd call EDM or really even obsessed with house music. But I went to go see Daft Punk, and it's, you know, it was mind blowing, once in a lifetime experience, and I'm forever grateful that I got to see that. But then I went home, and this was back when Pandora was still like a thing. You know, people would go on the Pandora app or Pandora radio and like put in a song and then have it like spawn other songs. So what I remember from the Daft Punk show was one of the last tunes that they played was Music Sounds Better With You, which I'd actually never heard before because it's, you know, it was like pre-Daft Punk era, but I was like, oh, this is a really good song. I'm going to plug this into Pandora and see what happens. And so Pandora was like, oh, this is house
Nice.
music. Here's some house music for you. And that was my journey into becoming obsessed with house music, was Daft Punk in 2008.
New house. You were not there, right? Tell me
No.
you're not there. Also,
No, I wasn't
all
at that.
Just want to make sure
Although-
you're everywhere right now.
Although I have to say, I'm insanely jealous that you saw the Alive tour.
It was
That
good.
must
It
have
was
been
really good.
awesome.
It
That
was.
might be- it was probably really, really good. Really great to see that. Well,
You see
okay.
George in the chat there, he's like, everyone here having these cool shows for their first show. And I'm over here like, Darude. Come on, man.
Oh, Darude, come
Yeah,
on.
it's awesome.
That's the best one, I think, so far. Come on. You're like the meme right there.
Yeah, well, everybody's flexing their first show. I mean, Gus, what's yours? It might be different, so I don't even.
No,
You remember your order? I can't even remember. But
can't
this is
remember.
just on sticking to not origin, but origin and going back origin of your first stream. I'm just curious. What do you remember? Everybody remembers their first stream, their first viewer, their first chatter on the chat. On the chat, what stands out in your first ever stream? I'm curious. What is that?
I think for me, I was super nervous about talking. Like, I didn't have a mic, and I remember the person still follows me to this day. I haven't seen him in a while, but they're in a different time zone. I used to play really super late. But he's like, come on, say something, talk. And I'm like, oh gosh. And then now I just don't shut up. So yeah. People want to hear you, actually. I was like, wow, okay.
How about you, Beth? Did you have any problem, talking to the mic? I know there's a lot of streamer who doesn't want to do mic at first. They just want to play music. Grace did not do mic for almost a year when she did it because I was pushing it until the time I said, okay, we have to go to mic, not because we wanted to. She doesn't like talking. Just want to play music, but I think that's an essential part. But how you, Beck? Did you struggle or did you fight it? With, going to mic.
I definitely struggled at the beginning too, and people who know me, like the Twitch family I hang out with, will joke about this because I used to pop into people's discords. You know how some streamers will have discords happening at the same time, so you can see kind of real time reaction from people who are watching your stream. And I would just like lurk and hang and not say hi. And Martina would be like, "Why don't you say hi?" And I'm like, I just don't want to come on the mic. And my very first stream, I was talking, but I didn't really know what I was doing, so I had this kind of handheld mic, and I would turn it on every time I wanted to talk and then turn it back off. And so like everybody was just constantly hearing kind of clicking noises. And then I would put the mic down and it would like fall on the floor. I had a much smaller desk and it was just kind of like really awkward and all over the place. And yeah, I was super nervous, the first couple streams, and I don't know, now I don't shut up. And so I have one of those don't talk over this tune routines, so people can tell me to do.
Wow. So how long did it take you to get comfortable? A few months?
Yeah, I would say a few months. Probably out like around month 3, month 4. Kind of after I got to maybe like after 500 viewers or so, I was like, okay, no, people actually like want to vibe and hang out, and you should just feel free to kind of be yourself, because that's really all you can offer people to like differentiate yourself from other people on Twitch is your authentic expression of you, and that's what people want to hear. And so yeah, once you realize that, you're like, oh, okay, cool, I'll talk.
Militia said, you can't stop talking now. It's just now your vibe of what's your, is that now part of the style?
This whole time I've been really nervous about talking. I guess you're not sure. Do people want to hear me? I have a small channel still. I have just under 1,000 viewers. And, you don't always know in the beginning what people want from you. But I have a quote here, and I'm going to read it because this hit me so hard recently. And I might get emotional over it. But the good DJ Amy Alexander, I hope she is here so much. She was on your podcast and she said something that hit me. And ever since I watched that, I feel like I've been so happy streaming. I used to like freak out and have meltdowns because like technology, streamers know, people, you guys know. But she said, and you asked her advice she would give new streamers, new DJs.
Yep, we asked that question from the
Be your authentic self, and that's it. If you try to be someone else, it'll come out one way or another. If you want, wear a hat and a hoodie and DJ, go for it. If you want to play the game, you're not going to last because you'll just be used up. But if you can be your authentic self and you work hard and you learn the game, I think you'll go far. So for me, to any young DJ, being your authentic self is everything, because it resonates in the music you play, it resonates in what you produce, and it resonates in who you are as a person. So authenticity for me is everything. And thank you, Amy, because that really helped me a lot recently. That's how I feel.
Yep, that's great. You guys both talk about authenticity, right? So now, and I ask this a lot when we had lady streamers on the show. Is this being a woman in like a male dominated scene in DJing, like both online and IRL, right? Do you assume that being authentic, especially on Twitch, is the way you kind of break the lady DJ stereotype? And what I meant about that is, it's really authenticity comes out showing your skill, your style, and not because you're want to be something else. Is that how you feel you should be, expressing this on your channel? Bex, start from you there.
I mean, it's hard to, I'm not going to adopt a position of this is what somebody should be doing as a female DJ. Ultimately, it's your stream. You express yourself, you present yourself the way that you want to. But for me, it just, I'm at a point, I think, in my life where I can't be somebody or something that I'm not. And there is a lot of pressure. I mean, there's a lot of amazing, great lady DJs out there. And, any given moment of the day, you can log on Twitch and see an amazing, lady performing on Twitch and be like, oh, wait, I don't look like that, or I don't sound like that, or I don't dress like that, or my stream doesn't look like that. And sometimes I'll be streaming and kind of like have it in the back of my head, and I'll be like, oh, I just made like a very ugly, non-ladylike face. I just made a steep face. Like, ooh, how's that going to translate? Or, oh, I just went, ugh, and like, that's, my voice went all deep. Is that going to be? And then I just get back into DJing and remember why I'm there. Is to have fun with DJing, to show people new music, to increase my skill, to vibe out with my community. And, kind of all of the, you should be doing this, you should be doing this, you should be doing this. It's not from the heart, those are all kind of external pressures that aren't really real and have not, contributed to my success on Twitch in any way. So it's kind of just like, tuning the volume down on that like mental chatter to be like, oh, you should present yourself in this way, or you should do this. But that's purely what works for me. And again, I'm not going to, say, oh, ladies should be doing this or anything like that.
Militia, that works for you too? Or is that a similar approach?
Yeah, like I don't think anyone can tell you. And that's why I like what Amy said so much, because that made me think about, who am I? What am I doing on my stream? And I had to take some time and think about it. It didn't take me long, because I think in the end you really do know, but you're kind of self-conscious and you wonder, is that really what people want to see? And it could have something to do with how you were brought up, how people treated you, your history. But yes. And that's a question you can really only answer yourself. And for me, it's a very personal answer. I just know that I need to be happy to be me. And there's people who appreciate that. And I have a beautiful community of people who see that, and I love them. And if they don't like it, they can go to the next stream. And if they do like it, thank you. Thank you so much. You guys are amazing. Yeah.
It's great to hear from you guys how you navigate, being the true to your identity and still, I guess, being highly visible, because obviously, you both of you have formed your own community, which I think is a biggest part of your support system on your channel, right? So with that community, tell us, how you got into that community. I mean, there's always different communities that everybody belongs to, and I'm happy to see that, we're crisscrossing and also collaborating in some of this community. Bex, on your end, how did you end up with the community that you're on right now? I know you said you came from the whistle face, raid. It's just almost everybody did, right? And then you got the Martino Eduardo's, the Patrick Richards, go Birds, group. Is that where it started, and how did you build that?
Yeah, I would say pretty much. Yeah, and I just saw somebody in chat say everybody came from Whistleface, and it's true. Dude really harnessed the exploratory kind of discovery power of TikTok and sent a lot of people to Twitch, and we're very thankful to him for that. Yeah, and I think from there, just following the raids and getting into the community. I mean, Space Taco Vibes does the High Vibes raid every Saturday, so there's that community. There's kind of the fam that's broadly associated with that. And just, you know, finding other streamers that I kind of vibed with, have the same mentality. We're just here to chill, have good vibes. It's about the music, you know, first and foremost, and having a good time. You know, Martino Eduardo's DGen community is really fun. And honestly, I say this to everybody who's like, what, Twitch, isn't that toxic? Yeah, maybe some parts of it are, but the music/DJ community, I think, is one of the most wholesome corners of the internet. And there's people I know from this community in chat, like Drew Orange and Nancy, Teria, Pyro, like all y'all are completely freaking amazing. And you know, I think we as streamers are incredibly lucky to have the community that we do, that show up to streams day in and day out to just spread positive vibes. So yeah, to anybody listening this who's ever watched any of our streams, thank you, 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 thank you.
Melissa, how about you're I know you and Bex paths cross, but you came from, right now you're on the Technocat community, like, right? So how did you end up on that community, and how you grew it?
So we were trying to think about it not long ago, but cold storage was like my first community I was introduced to, and they've been
Jets in
nothing
the
but
show too. Yep.
support, and Technocat is part of that as well. So they kind of like intermingled together, and I think I was in one of Cold Storage's streams one day, and they were like really nice. If you're nice to me, I want to come say hi. Like, it's just how it is. That's what I do. You know, I like to return the favor. So I'm kind of like, you know, I watch a lot of different streams, and I try to engage with everyone because I don't know if you can tell, but I'm very outspoken. I'm very extroverted. I like talking to people, and I just like to discover everything I can. So I feel like my community is ever growing. The people that have found me, I think it's amazing. And thank you for staying. But again, Technocat and Cold Storage, Chris Cox, those are the three main channels I can think of that I've met some awesome people. But again, it really is everywhere. Like, it's hard to just pinpoint where it all evolved from. It's just, and that's what's amazing about Twitch. It's so huge. But when you think of it, like, the world is so small and we cross paths so often. It's like me and DJ Ryan Mellis were laughing the other day because we kept finding each other in the same freaking chats. We're like, are you stalking me? So it's just, and that's another thing. Like, that's how you connect. You just fall upon people, and next thing you know, you're talking, you're in their Discord, you're meeting them in person. I don't know.
Ryan is everywhere except when he's sleeping or drinking. That's great. Well, how do you guys ended up with NBHD? Somebody refer? Was it me, Poiji? Don't tell him it's Grace. How did you guys ended up on NBHD? Who invited you?
Grace, I don't remember. You did. You or Grace? I honestly don't remember. It was like way back in December of 2023, maybe January 2024.
I think I was watching a stream, and you were saying, if anyone wants to be on the raid train, send a message. So I sent you a message, and then I was on the raid train. I was like, sweet, right on. And then
and that's what, you know, I guess NBH touched a lot of different communities throughout, you know, the 3+ years, and that's really why we want to grow, because we want to cross, we can cross path with a lot of these different streamers and community that are very supportive of each other, right? Beck said, you know, there's still toxicity, but I always said that's only 5%. 95% is pure positive, you know, at least on our experience, and that's why we want to, you know, feature that on our show. 95% of those people have their own stories, and it's great, you know, that to tell them, because every single one of them it's really fun, or it's really exciting to hear. But every community has their own struggles, right? Or not, maybe. How about on your community? We'll start with you first, Melissa. Any struggles, you know, that you encounter, challenges on a community, especially the one that's growing?
Not yet. I'd like more. Come and hang out.
More challenge, or more people, but there's always
love.
Yeah. Have you encountered, and also this is going to be a question for Rebecca, have you encounter anything that or anybody that try to disrupt that community, meaning like putting negative vibes, drama. Do you encounter that? That's a
Yeah,
big sigh. That too. Bex is ready, smiling. She's getting ready to
No,
have.
no, no, I know. I
you,
wanna,
you
I
never
wanna, I wanna, yeah, see
you
how the
never know what
answer
people
goes.
are going through. You don't know their story. You don't know where they came from. That person talking whatever they're talking about could be in a very bad spot. And I feel for those people so much and I want to help them, but I need to realize I can't fix someone. If this is Twitch, this is the DJ stream. I don't always know these people. And I think that's the challenge I have is I want to help everyone when it's not possible. Um, so sometimes you get someone into your chat that maybe is drinking too much, and that was in the very beginning for me. I had someone who was having some problems, and I tried to relate and be really nice, but it was, I think that every streamer has been, encountered something like that, and you treat them with respect and niceness, and hopefully it fixes itself. I've never really had any issues where I need to like get rid of someone, but if there is someone who is being negative, and I will take the precaution on my end. I've had people message me about certain people giving me a heads up that they've done something really bad offline. I'm like, well, I'm going to block that person because I don't need that in my stream. I don't need that drama. I told someone once that like, if there's any drama, you're getting blocked right away. I said that a long time ago, and they disagreed with me. And you know what? It's my stream. Do what I want. In the end, if you don't
Sure.
like it, don't be a jerk. So
Very
but
well
again,
said.
we have to understand, we have our bad days, so I give people a couple chances, but then that's about it. So but it's been really good on my stream. I haven't really had any issues whatsoever. It's been very positive. That's what I appreciate about the community here, is that you don't really run into a lot of issues. It's nice.
How about you, Bex? If obviously you're growing and your community is growing. Do you have that same experience or something different?
Yeah, I guess you grow more confident in your own ability and your own authority to manage the vibe, right? Because that's like your number one job as a DJ, is kind of dictating the vibe for everybody else. And kind of first and foremost, it's with the music that you're playing. Secondly, it's kind of your personality, how you're coming across to chat, how you're engaging with people. And that third step is policing. And when I started streaming, I was very reluctant, and I did have some people come into chat, say some questionable things, and I would just pretend to ignore it. But in pretending to ignore it, it was kind of stewing in the back of my head, and I would start overthinking things, and I think it was affecting how I mixed. And as you just kind of grow in your confidence, and also with the help of your community and your mods, I think the Twitch fam that we have on Twitch is really, really great, and really, really self-policing. And the fact that we're all really on good terms with each other, we can kind of tell each other, oh, keep an eye out for this person, or this person was banned from so-and-so stream. You might want to have a heads up about that. And that's been really helpful. But I think it just, now having done this, I mean, not even for that long.
Yeah.
I think I've been streaming a year and a half now, but I've put some hours.
You
in.
did.
Yeah, it's close to 600 hours.
Just 600.
It's crazy to think about. And so, you kind of take ownership of your stream the more you stream, and you're like, oh, my spidey sense is tingling. This person's kind of dominating chat, or they're saying weird things. I'm noticing my regulars are chatting less because this person's taking up a little bit more chat space, or they're just saying things that are throwing off the vibe. And I don't really like that. And that's not the way I want to run my stream. So now I have, the rules that are on my about page, or when you sign into chat, it says, we reserve the right to remove you if you're doing anything that's throwing off the vibe. And I'll give specific examples. I mean, don't make creepy, sexually objective comments. Don't spam chat with random messages, things like that. But also just like, if I feel like you're being negative, we reserve the right to remove you, because that is my responsibility as the streamer who's providing a community and experience for everybody else.
Yeah, I think that's also where the community and our mods can help. But Melissa, you said something there that sometimes you feel that you have, because they're always on your channel, Yeah, and you feel like you need to say something or help them as as the DJ, as the person who owns the channel. Do you guys f- always feel that that you have a responsibility to help these people because they're always supporting you? Do you feel that when you're playing? Does that make sense? Because sometimes I feel like people that who's been very supportive have been there all the time, and then they come out and ask for help, whether it's an advice or something. Do you feel obligated to answer back, or do you feel bad of not answering back? Does that make sense? Because I feel that sometimes, when you're doing something on Twitch.
I think it depends on the individual. If it's someone you've had a bit of a history with, I can say yes, I want to help to a certain degree, but I have to remember that as unselfish as I want to be, I do come first. And I have to think about how is this mentally and emotionally going to take a toll on me. I have a life outside of this computer screen. I have a family. I have 3 dogs that drive me crazy. But I will do what I can whenever I can to help anyone. If they need an ear, I will listen. But I think I can say that if it comes to a point where I feel like I'm unable to give a response where I feel is like respectable, I will probably let them know in the nicest way possible. It's probably better they talk to someone else. I've never ran across that, thankfully. Like I said, everyone's been really cool here. But I do have some really, nice personal conversations with friends I've made over time. But at the same time, I do feel that I'm mature enough to know when to draw the line with certain people. So it's, it's the internet. You can type whatever the heck you want sometimes and be a person, right? Like I've unfortunately had some situations in my own life where there's people doing things and you didn't realize it was going on and they're acting a different way to you. And, the internet can be a toxic place and you can say things that you don't necessarily mean, but I saw something the other day about, I can't remember, but like you can be 2 different people. And I try to remember that sometimes, that who is this person really? And is it worth my time? So I feel like I could answer this question forever. So I'll just leave it at that. But it can be difficult for sure.
Bex, anybody reach out to you outside of Twitch, just asking for advice or something in that nature, that that they want to, if they feel like they can connect with you now, or ask any questions, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, I do. Yeah, and not. I don't think I've ever had like a weird. Oh, like you're kind of encroaching on kind of personal boundaries.
Okay.
But no, I mean, I have people reach out outside of stream, ask me for
and
things.
I guess most of them are positive, and then just really want to. Okay. Yeah. Again, it's hard really to have drama. That's really why we're doing Twitch, to avoid that in real life, right? So we always say, I think NBHD also stands for no bullshit, hate, or drama, because and when the drama or
I didn't
hate comes
know
in,
that. That's so
yeah,
cool.
that's just yeah, because
He,
every
he
time
came
one
up
of
with that today.
I love it.
no, I didn't. Well, I think because it we've been doing this for 3 years, right? And it's always not positive. There's always people who's going to try to bring you down, whether they're saying something bad. But if I think about all those people, we won't be doing any of these, right? So we just move forward and think about the positive. And that's the first thing that I told the crew. When I see drama, I spell drama, cut that shit off. Well, we're stopping there. And if you want to push for it, then we're done. So that's really what we want to do. And I think that's true for everybody, right? Because this is for us. I know it can be addicting, but it's also an escape for a lot of people, and we don't want the drama of real life to follow us, because this is where we want to have fun. We want to listen to great music and meet great people. But I will say though, 600 hours, that's a lot of hours. Let's talk about burnout, right? Have you ever um, hit that wall, like something that, hey, I'm gonna stream again. I don't want to do it. or something, right? Because of job, relationship, right? Or just no sleep, just no sleep, right? So have you ever hit that wall, Bex? Because I know you've been doing a lot of these.
100%. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I remember, I want to say last summer, I was getting pretty burnt out. And there's just, things, I live in Seattle, right? And so like all of us are kind of asleep and indoors for 8 months out of the year. And then summer happens, just boom, boom, boom. All your friends want to do this. And there are all these shows that you have to go to. And if you're a DJ, you feel this obligation to go to all the shows so that you can get booked and grow your network and people know who you are. And they ask you if you want to play their shows and you're streaming on Twitch. And, I was coming up on my year anniversary and like seeing all these other people hit these milestones by their year anniversary. And of course, if you're an affiliate, you always get that stream summary and achievements and here's where you are and that path to partner kind of thing. And how is your averages looking? And it is so easy because you can log on to Twitch and see this person has this many viewers, this person has this many viewers. It makes it incredibly easy to start comparing yourself to other people's number wise. And I feel like that's kind of where I was like, oh, am I, where I should be, almost a year in, my numbers aren't as high as this person when I stream on this day. What am I doing wrong? And I was really kind of getting in the weeds of the analytics, while also kind of running myself ragged socially. And yeah, I was really burnt out by the end. And I remember telling a few of my friends, like, I want to go back to a time before I started DJing, before people knew me as a DJ, when I could just go to the club and dance in the background and be totally anonymous and nobody knew who I was. And I didn't feel the pressure to go on and stream. And I could just, go on Twitch and enjoy a stream without like, having, and it was really kind of self-imposed pressure at the end of the day. It's not like you have to look at the stream summary. You don't, but you do.
It's
and
a trap, though.
yeah, I just step back, and what ended up happening was I ended up going to Chicago because I got tickets for Arc Fest, and I was really excited because Derek Carter again was doing a B2B with Mark Farina and Honey Dijon.
I love
Honey Dijon was playing, and I'd never seen her play before. And I do need DJ Heather, I think, was doing an after party B2Bing with Mike Dunn. And I was like, well, I have to go see all these Chicago legends because I'm back from Chicago. I'm kind of obligated. And so, yeah, having that week off where I was just back in Chicago, kind of like, because I wasn't a DJ when I was living in Chicago. So it was like kind of the land at the time before. Just having fun at ARC and watching all of these DJs that I've admired for so long just get up there and have fun. And that's all they were doing, was just having fun. And it didn't matter that they were at ARC in front of a festival crowd of thousands and thousands of people. They were just doing what they did because it was fun for them. And I was like, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. I remember why I did this. I remember why I started doing this. And it was a really, really helpful refresh. But yeah, absolutely. And I just try to take my sleep where I can get it. Like I said, squeeze in the nap.
In the net. Yeah, fun. I think it's that key word. Right? You have to have fun. But Militia, I know you've been only doing this 6 months, but that trap, though, what Bex is saying about looking at stream summer, comparing, you gone to that? Because I think everybody did, right?
It's real. It's real. So
yeah,
I'm just gonna be I'm very honest and open. I went into this, I'm gonna DJ, yay, fun. And then I started seeing all these like really pretty girls that are half my age and half my size and have all these beautiful things that I don't have. Like, this isn't my hair.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't my hair, guys. I wear it because it's fun. I wear it because it's what I like to do. And I thought about, because I started DJing without like the hair thing. I just had my regular haircut. And I'm like, why am I wearing this wig? I'm like, I'm wearing it because it's me. It's fun. And then I started like comparing myself too much to other people. It's having meltdowns, freaking out. And I was working at the time, and there was a lot of, I think I was just really stressed out and trying to find something to be happy about. And it was like, that was my one thing I wanted to find that would just work for me. And I had to like, I was burning out over stress. I was burning over technology, hooking this all up. Like, I mean, you guys know the chords in this room are ridiculous. The amount of, I always say you have to become an engineer to be a streamer. You have to know so much. Like, I don't cuss, but it makes me want to cuss. You have to know so much crap. I was like, my poor husband was like, very supportive in everything I do, and I give him so much like love and respect for him having to deal with me, especially through this, because it's not cheap. I was like, I'm
Mhm.
going to be a DJ. It's going to be cheap. I'm just going to stream off Beatport. I have this $150 controller. Hell no, I just bought a $4,000 Mac. Like, I can like go on forever about everything, but like I had to. I really like I said, Amy really helped me about being authentic self. I was like, what the frick am I doing? Who cares what like my stats are? Who cares how much money I'm making? Do I really want to do more self-employment taxes? No, I don't. I don't want to do more taxes.
Yes,
And
you
me
do.
and my husband, we know I was full-time, I went down to part-time, and I had some health issues, so I had to quit my job. So it became a lot. I thought it'd be easier to start streaming more, but then it wasn't. And you just really have to take that time and think about what you're doing. And I don't look at my numbers anymore. I don't compare myself anymore. And I'm having so much more fun. And this
Yeah.
is only been in like the last couple of weeks where I was finally like, what the hell? Just stop it. You like music. And I am like, look at what you have, not what you don't have. Look what I have. Look what we have. I have like, think about, I heard this quote one time about, imagine the amount of people that are in your stream or liking your post in your freaking living room. How would you feel if like 40 people were sitting in your living room listening to you? And I was like, hell yeah, it'd be amazing. So I'm not going to freak out about any of that anymore. I don't have to. And the more I feel like the more you think about it, it becomes obvious. And I think if I was to look back at my streams, I probably would look kind of like grumpy and not as happy. And I feel like just this past week or so, I've been feeling a lot better because I put a better expectation. Like there is no expectation. My expectation is to have fun. And I
Yep.
hope we'll have fun in my stream. And like everything, I think I've talked enough about this. So yeah, it's the stress is there.
It's an honest. It's having fun, right? But I will say though, I mean, we've been doing this for a while. When sometimes it's just gonna surprise you when you actually pull back and relax. That's when it hit up.
Mhm.
I guarantee you, and I don't care what everybody says, but everybody had that because when the time that you actually said, "Fuck this," I'm gonna be stepping back and then just taking it easy. That's when it hits up. I mean, new house should be in here in a while, right? Because this is where you meet more people and it's and more community, right? Because it's easy to fall in that trap of looking at Twitch tracker or your daily stream and comparing. I
Mhm.
mean, don't I guess for people who's been doing this, don't feel bad. Everybody does it, but the key there is really, to you guys' point, don't compare and do your own thing. And then as long as you do your own thing, it's gonna be all upward from there.
Yeah,
And
and I
then you
think
have the community to support you, right? Yeah, go ahead.
yeah, I was going to say, and it is so easy to kind of compare yourself to others because not only do we stream on here, but our communities are on here.
Yep.
We watch other people on here just as much as other people watch us, and so you're so inundated with what someone else is doing, how someone else has things set up. I think Bex, you were mentioning this before, how they've got their lights or they've
Yeah.
got a better camera or whatever. You're always comparing yourself, and like I know when I had my burnout, it was 100% comparison, looking at numbers, going, why the hell am I not doing as well as X, Y, and Z? And it does take that step back, and I think the community is really what helped me get through it. And I think I can speak for everyone here. It's the community that helps you get through it because they're the ones who are saying, listen, like, take the time you need. What can we do to help you? And when you get back, we're going to be here for you. Because they don't just become viewers, they become, I hate to say the word, friends or family, because those have certain connotations, but really they are,
They are.
and that I think is kind of the beauty of Twitch, is that you get a support system, which is kind of cool when you think about it.
Yeah. And although when you hit up though, right, Bex, you've been doing this and every Sunday your show I've been watching, it's doing great. But do you also feel that uh the pressure now that you always have to be on now? I think that's the flip side of that right now. you have this show, you have this, and the reason why I'm saying this is because Grace told me this. We have our Wednesday show. Sometimes she says, I feel the pressure to have to be on because I I feel like I owe it. But sometimes you're not feeling it. You don't feel as an entertainer. I mean, how do you guys manage those that? Do you just push through it, or you just say, "Ah, fuck this, I'm not gonna get on. My community will understand." How do you manage that? I think that's hard. I'm not a streamer, but I feel that that's a hard decision. Like your Sunday show, Bex, and people are looking for that. How do you manage that?
I mean, yeah, it is hard. And Sundays are for me. And then that's kind of the way that I've not justified it to myself, but I've kind of built it up in my head. Like, and people go to church on Sundays. My stream, Deep Dish on Sundays, is my church, and I take my time and I play all of the genres that I want to play. And I just tell myself in my head, first and foremost, I'm doing this for myself. It's very therapeutic for me to just like see how my favorite deep house songs sound together, or just like end the night by just playing some D&D bangers and mashing them all together like a mad woman. It's a lot of fun, and so for that, I'm just like, it's kind of like I can't not. My community knows this. I'll like come back from vacation like on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Like an early Sunday, and I'll be like, nah, I'm still streaming. I'm jet lagged. I'm tired, but I'm still gonna stream. And sometimes I don't even talk to my chat. And sometimes I'll ignore half the things they say, and I'll just be like super apologetic. But like, I think most of them know that I just love streaming on Sundays so much, and it's like that is my thing. But yeah, on Thursdays, because I stream a little bit later in the night, I'm like, okay, we're gonna build it up. It's gonna be more bangers. Send people into the weekend. And I also work on Saturdays. I have a 9-to-5 job. And so those can be a little bit hard. I mean, I've definitely had the odd Thursday where I was like, I wasn't feeling it. And then I streamed, and like, I don't think it went as well as it could have been, or I was tired. But I would say, like, I do kind of force myself. And there have been streams where I'm like, I should have just taken the day off and nobody would have cared. Have been fine. But I would say maybe 60 to 70% of the time I'll go into a stream being like, I'm not feeling it. And by the end of the night, I'll be like, that was great. That was great. And I feel so I did that. Like, my chat was with me. They're giving us lots of positive energy. I did that one fun blend. We got to raid somebody new, and I'm just glad that I did this. And so, usually, like, again, it kind of goes back to why you're doing this. It's because it's fun. And so if you, kind of, I put a little self-imposed pressure on it by saying, I got to play some bangers because we're coming into the weekend and it's the nighttime stream and I got to play bangers. But if I mentally take a step back and remind myself that I'm doing this because I like DJing, because it's fun, then it usually ends up being a positive experience. But yeah, you do have to really kind of keep it in stride. And I'm trying to be better about that, really allowing myself to take breaks when I need them. And I think, with the summer coming up, I'm gonna this year try not to push myself so hard. And if I need a break, just take the day off.
Well, I think Nikit also said it best. People will see that because they will know, like, if you're not feeling it. But great point. I think I guess the key to fun really is have fun, right? I think that's what we're all saying. And even this show, we tell ourselves it's not fun anymore. We're not doing it because we're not getting paid out to this one. I mean, the bits or whatever is not gonna put money, that food on the table, right? So, but as long as we're doing this and we're having fun, at least on our end, telling these stories, right? I think a lot of people love to see this side of these amazing ladies here, and any of our guests. I think we will still be doing the guys next door. Another question, since we're talking about pressure, this is directed to both of you, right? Is there, well, for you first, Bex, is there a pressure now for you to push for a partner? Do you feel that pressure if people are asking you to do
before
it?
stream when there was like, is there anything you don't want to talk about? And I was like, no, we can talk about anything. No, this is the one thing I don't.
Yeah, the reason why I'm asking for this, everybody, well, somebody will have asked you that at
No,
some point?
people do. People do.
Yeah.
No,
What was
like,
is
I'm
that? Is the
just laughing
pressure?
because anybody who's been in my chat recently, like, knows that, like, it's there always in the back of my mind, but I tell everybody I'm not thinking about it and I don't want to talk about it. And we did this thing where, because like there's two hoops you have to jump through to get to partner, right? There's
Yep.
unlocking the application, and there's
And
actually
then the other month.
and being accepted.
Yep.
And those are
Yep.
two different sets of criteria. But I noticed that I was very close to the application unlock. Like, I had the average there, I just didn't have the days. And I was like, oh, wait, actually, if I could squeeze in a couple of stream days, because I only stream 2 times a week, and I'm not going to like exceed that number. And so that kind of the getting to 12 days streaming a month or whatever you need to unlock the application was going to be really hard for me. But I was like, oh, wait, no, I can game the system. I know that, because of daylight savings time, I could start at this time, and then Twitch will count that as 2 days. So we did this thing with my community. Yeah, right. So
Wow.
So the days reset for me, it's 4 p.m. Pacific, but it didn't change. I mentally, I like can't explain it right now. But it was just a way for me to I'd figured out how to game the system. And so I told the deep dish community, I was like, hey, I think we can do this, but like it's really hard for me to talk about, because again, I just want to avoid the self-imposed pressure of pushing for partner. It's going to make it not fun. So we're going to do this thing. I'm not even going to call it an unlock. We're going to call it Operation Rhymes with Sunblock, and y'all can figure out what that means. All I need you to do is show up to my stream on these 3 days,
Open
and
up a tab.
maybe something fun will happen, but I'm not going to call it, it's not a partner push. I'm not even going to call it unlock. I was just very I'm from Chicago. I used to be a sports fan. We're very superstitious, right? I would watch the Bulls and I would turn them off in the third quarter because they always suck in the third quarter. My dad doesn't even watch live sporting games anymore. He just records the whole thing. And if we win, we'll watch. So it's just a very super.
You go to a cave to just to listen to social media. That's hard.
Yeah. So, and we ended up getting the application unlock, and you know what? It's nice enough to just see those green check marks and not even like the average anymore, that I don't even, if partner happens, it happens. I'm not going to stress about it. It is in the back of my mind, but the more I think about it, the less fun I have.
Yeah, I guess it's the pressure, right? I know Sahara is here somewhere, right? I saw her. I mean, when she was doing it, I just feel like it's a big pressure, and it's a lot of hours, right? It's a lot of hours, a lot of days, right, to do it. And Moshe, I want to get your perspective there. I mean, is that for you? Is that worth it, or do you want to go through that?
So I have hit all the markers except for the average. I think I'm at 33 right now. And I just put out a schedule to stream on Sundays, Monday, Wednesday, Fridays for a few hours to see where it'd get me, to see if I can hit it. Is it something I can accomplish possibly anytime soon? I don't know. I just backside, it's not really something I want to think too much about, because then it becomes a chore and stressful, and I don't want to go back to where I was a few months ago having meltdowns. I'm happy now. I feel like it's something I would like to do. I mean, who doesn't? I mean, but again, don't want to do more taxes. I got to think about the pros and cons.
We got a new house here. You don't have to worry about that.
CPA in the house. But yeah, I look at people who are partner pushing, and I feel for them, because a lot of these people have full-time jobs. Me right now, I'm not working because of my health, but I can only imagine how difficult that is. And sometimes you can see it in them, they're tired, and it shows, just like he was saying earlier, that quote there, you can tell, but they're doing it for a reason. They have their reasons for doing it. We'll see when I get there, but I can see how it is hard for people, especially with Twitch is changing things up, how they're removing the affiliate thing, where you pretty much can be affiliate off the bat. You just have to put in your tax information. I think more people will be pushing for a partner because that affiliate push won't be there anymore. I would love to be partner, but don't want to think about it too much because I'm an overthinker and I'm very passionate, and I have to be careful because that's when, you know, you get stressed out. So I don't, yeah.
I think it's just a stress. I really want to, you know, interview somebody. Sahar, wink, wink. I know I've been asking you to do the show. I hope, you know, you've seen the show right now. It's not as scary as people say it is, but really want to get in their head what's that perspective is, right? Because I feel it's so much pressure, right? Just even with, you know, just playing on Twitch on a schedule is already a pressure, at least on me and Grace and in the show. But just getting to that, right? You know, I feel like I always say I feel like, you know, if it's, if you really want it, go for it, and I think the community will support you. And even Technica told me, I think if we push for it, people will come and help you. So, but you really have to put all your heart out there, and it's all in, right? You can't be half foot on the door and half, right? So but good luck for both of you, and always remember NBHD is there to help you. You know, we've helped a few to get them on that caboose on the train so that we can get that that average, especially like that last leg wherein I think you have to have what, eight 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 more streams or six more stream with an average 75. We're here to help in that one. All right, well, yes, thank you so much for that. But I think we're gonna switch it up now. We're gonna go to the next segment of the show, wherein we want to get your perspective of things outside of Twitch. This is called Beyond the Neighborhood. Beyond the Neighborhood is where we go and we find a few stuff out there on social media, something that happened throughout the week, and we want to get everybody's perspective on it. So welcome to Beyond the Neighborhood. All right. I hope that didn't scare you. That's so loud. Uh, so this week's discussion is going to switch it up a bit. It's about Coachella, right? Everybody's watched Coachella. I've been watching it for 3 straight days now because Grace has been watching it. I want to talk about a few things about what happened in Coachella. Here's the first one. I'm going to show a reel.
By a lady in red, you hear the last few words of your life. With the whole thing lands, now you're both in a trance. It's time to cast your spell on the line. Abracadabra, amor una now. Abracadabra, morta ugaga. Abracadabra, I'm just a holy fool, oh baby. It's so cool, but I'm still in love with Judas, baby. I'm just a holy fool, oh baby. It's so cool, but I'm still in love with Judas, baby. Take you out tonight, say whatever you like. Try to
All right. You all probably seen that. I think I seen it twice. One Saturday night, and we played again Sunday morning on breakfast. Grace was watching it. How about that? Over 2 hours. Like, it's like a fucking concert. 20 songs, 20 different costumes. I heard. I did not watch the whole thing. I just heard about it. And as Coachella style, the managed live stream would allow Lady Gaga put in a spectacle. I think he built around, what's the name of the album? Mayhem. Oh, I think that's Friday night. Sorry, Friday night going Saturday morning. Sorry, my bad. Would you say that this production that she broke into 4 acts and a finale carried a story, or it's just more of just vibes? What do you think about her performance during the Coachella? Bex, I'm gonna start from you first.
I don't know. I've only seen like the clips, pretty much what you just showed. I haven't watched the whole thing yet, although I have had people recommend that to me. So maybe that's what I'll be doing. Oh, not this coming weekend. I have a gig, but like I'll find some time to watch the recaps of it. I don't know. She's a great performer. She knows what she's doing. She's been doing this her whole entire life, and you know, I am not. I like can't be surprised by anything that she does, but I am always amazed, especially because you can tell she's just up there, like throwing herself around, but she's really singing into the mic. She has some pipes to be able to do what she's doing, to move around so much and infuse so much of what she's doing with like the theatricality that she does, and still be up there singing. It's really incredible to watch.
Militia, do you think she's just making herself still relevant, or is still is it that just how she is?
I am probably the last person to talk to about this because I don't watch anything. I don't look at, like, I just installed Threads and TikTok on my phone. Like, I'm 43 years old. I like I haven't watched Coachella ever in my life. That's just not, I mean, props to her, you do you. Like, but would I expect to see that at a music festival? Holy crap, no, but that's probably why their tickets are so expensive. But that's like phenomenal. That is completely amazing. Like, I never, when I went to see concerts 20 years ago, it was a band with some drums moshing, like Area 1 Moby, same thing. Like, I never like that. This is like, that's insane. And that's really cool. Like, that blows my mind where concerts have gone in this long. Yeah, that's just, if that's what Coachella wants to be, that's what Coachella wants to be. It's cool.
But do you think it's more, what's the right word for Coachella? It's more pop artsy. Is that the right word? It's more like, because Coachella for me, and again I might be wrong. It's not Coachella. I know it's not really into that type of mainstream act. It's just.
So you're
Do you
asking for
think
more performance over about the music? Is that
Yeah.
getting at? Yeah, that's how the world is going, right? We're turning more, everything's an act these days. Am I surprised? No. And I feel bad for the musicians that don't want to do that, but if that's what people want, that's what they're getting, and it seems like that's what people want. They, we look at the videos now of the the audience is not moving. They're videoing the concert, and they expect the DJ and the performance. I had someone tell me in my stream the other day, "You're not dancing enough." I'm like,
What?
I'm
Ban. Boom.
Insta ban.
Ban.
I had somebody like that when I first started streaming, and they were like, they would come in and be like, dance more. And I'd be like, oh,
That's,
wait.
that's more. You're on the wrong channel, boy.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's interesting. I don't know how to answer that question. Like I said, I'm out of the loop these days, and that's just crazy to me.
But Bex, do you see that also on Twitch though?
I mean, oh God, I could talk about this. I read some think piece somewhere, and this is not about Twitch specifically, but touching on what Militia was saying, like, there's this whole like sentiment these days that you have to prove to other people that you participated in culture. Right? Like culture now exists for you to show other people that you're participating in it, whether you're posting pictures of your meal on Instagram, or you're sharing, the concert experience with people on TikTok. Like, your social capital is dictated by how well you can present yourself participating in culture. And that's a lot of words to say that, like, people are so into just like manufacturing their appearance to other people by like showing them like, this is what I eat, this is the concert that I went to, this is and to Melicia's point, like, now they expect performances, not just music, but kind of, the lighting, the movement, the everything else. Everything has to be a production, because they're in turn making a production of it for their own viewers. And you have this kind of weird meta thing where it all becomes like mass produced and filtered, and nobody's really getting or participating in like a raw, authentic experience anymore. And it's a great money maker, sure. And now, content creator was not a job that existed 20 years ago, and now it does. And a lot of people have found their calling and niche in that. And I think for some people it's great, but I think you also have to question, like, is this really kind of an authentic experience? And what's happening if we're making it so overproduced and manufactured? Like, what are we losing in that?
New house on that one. Do you think there's pros and cons in that? I mean, yes, you're basically immersing yourself, but at the same time, also, do you think it's just a way for other people to flex, and also a way for people to kind of enjoy and experience, if they can do it or they can afford. Do you think that's also another? Is it, do you think you feel that's another way of doing it?
Yeah, so I think first, Drew put up in the chat. I think that's one of the best ways I've heard that concept expressed. I think it was really good, Bex. I I agree that if these things are going to be out there, you want to get it out to the widest audience possible, and this is a way that you can do it. You can do it
Mhm.
through other people. You can do it through your own followers, and get into that whole meta thing. But I think the what Bex was saying was right, is that it's, you're not experiencing the moment, you're just kind of showing off the fact that you're there and that you're a part of it. And then a performance is being put on because they want to say, hey, look at the show I'm putting on. You don't want to miss out on it. And kind of bringing it back to kind of DJing and dance music, because I know that that's something that I've heard a lot about, because at 47 I don't go to a lot of clubs anymore. People taking phones out onto the dance floor and not experiencing the night with the DJ and not having that experience. And now they're moving to, hey, we're not going to have
Yeah.
phones. This is going to be a phone free zone, so you can actually be in the moment, like when Melissa and I used to go out, because I was partying in the early 2000s, right? And remember the moment up here, not
Yep.
on a screen in front of you.
Yep. Gus, I mean, I know we talked about this one time. I mean, this flexing, this posting wins of sports, gigs that they did, the travel, the gear, the toys. Oh my God. Do you, we talk about, do you feel inspired to, achieve that? Or are you low key discouraged now because I can't do it? Because
Well,
sometimes, there's a balance there, right? So,
it's always a balance, right? Like for me, when I post in Facebook, I don't post the food. I post the plate empty because I eat it first and then I take a picture on it. I mean, hey, I ate there, so yep.
so it's always it's a balance, but because you have to also uh, understand, people are posting it because they have not experienced it. They want to share their experience, but at the same time, also some people, or not the right people, will feel jealous about it and discouraged. But I think similar to any achievements, right, that we see, we talk about comparing ourselves to other. I think we can compare ourselves to others to be inspired. Okay, I can also do it. Not to say I can do it better, but oh, if Bex could do it, I can do it, and I'm gonna have Bex inspired me, and Bex is part of whatever that is to get you to that, right? Because it's very hard sometimes. Social media makes you question your own progress. And sometimes it's humbling, right? So it's or
Mhm.
your own path. Like, fuck, and that guy went to college was like, if I just, went through this path, I could have done this because I'm doing this. But it's really hard, to say, because, even with the same path, you might have different
Mhm.
outcomes, right? Have you guys personally kept a healthy mindset that, that when looking at these DJs or streaming content, just keep getting inspired, right? How do you keep that, right? I know we touched about a bit a while ago, how you keep a healthy mindset of staying on your lane. Do you have your own, like, personal goals that you just stick with it?
I
Reg-
like to think about. I will. I'm a very. I like to analyze a lot. My husband can back me up on that for sure. And I like to reason on things. And a lot of times I'll look at a person on a stream, and like I said, you never know what's going on in someone's life. And I think about, what does it take for them to get here?
Mm.
What is going through their mind right now as they stream? Like, if you look at, you try to think about their life and what's going on, how does that inspire me? Someone who's has a nice, beautiful setup, or like a lot of like flashy lights, columns, all it's a literal like performance studio, versus someone who has a couple of LED lights with their deck and they still have 1,400 viewers. I look at those two and I think about where do I fit in between all that? And that is inspiring because I think about that person has a lot of flash and lights, that person doesn't, but they have a similar reach at that point. So that is inspiring to me because you can see how complicated you can make it, how simple you can make it and have the same result. So that to me is where I get inspired, is that just really like taking some time to think about what those people are going through and what it has taken to get where they are.
Very good. Very. Um, I think for me, there's the creators and the consumers, right? I like you guys are creators. I can be a consumer because I like to watch, and that's my reason why I'm doing it. I'm watching. I'm not creating at the same time. The creators wants to create something, so there's a balance there, right? I'm not. I always people say always FOMO of something. I really want to change to more of a joymo, right? Joy, not a fear of missing out, but a joy of missing out because I'm happy for others, right? To do it. Patent that again, Gus. I've been throwing a lot of this the last 2 weeks,
Joy.
but the joymo sounds like a game. But I think that is that is the way to do it. That's how we get better. All right, so I'm surprised how we went from Lady Gaga to that, but it's still inspiring for others, right? So it's a great thing. We're gonna go to our next one before we go to the last segment of the show, wherein everybody can ask questions. So prepare your questions, right? So after this, all right, the last is again still in Coachella. All right. So we talk about this once, and I'm gonna go here. Let's set the scene. So you're vibing, you're in Coachella, maybe a little bit buzzed, maybe a little bit dehydrated, and somebody and suddenly you have a nature call. You spot the bathroom line, and you're doing the math like, can I hold this for 2 more DJ set and a food truck run, or do I risk the porta potty of doom right now? Have you guys have this struggle on any festival, and is it worth it to go there? I mean, people here are lining up not just to go for a number one. I think the people are doing number two and want to take a shower. What is your experience on a porta potty during a festival? And we want to hear it. Bex, you're laughing. I'm going to start from you now. It sounds like you have a good story to tell.
Really going there? Oh god, I don't know. I mean, like I'm kind of aging myself. I feel like aging myself out of festivals. There's still the occasional one, like I went to ARC last year, but I feel like just these days, every time I go to a festival, I'll be like, okay, that's the last time I'm going to a festival. And half the reason is like I like to listen to DJs in like a dark club, and there's more anonymity and not like bright sunlight, and you're not just like, I don't know, sweating next to a bunch of people. Well, I guess you are sweating next to a bunch of people. It's different. Yeah, I guess there was one year I went to Lollapalooza, and for anybody who doesn't know, for anybody who's new, I'm deathly allergic to half the food pyramid, so I can't have dairy, eggs, tree nuts, or peanuts. And I had a burger that was like a black bean burger that I thought was vegan, or maybe it was vegan, but it just had nuts in it. Anyway, I ended up having an allergic
What do you
reaction.
eat?
Yeah,
You just eliminate everything that people are eating.
I'm
right
not
now.
eating tofu, carbs. I can have corn, soy, and wheat, and so I can have beer. I'm all good. But yeah,
important.
no, I ended up needing to use my EpiPen. And I was like, well, you have to, because you stab yourself in the thigh. And I was wearing pants. I was like, I'm gonna have to take my pants off. What am I gonna do? And so it's just like, I guess I'll use the porta potty. And so I like started standing in line, and my friend was like, what are you doing? And he like drags me at the front of the line. He's like, she needs to really use the bathroom so she can like administer some life-saving medication to herself. Like, is that cool? And
That
everybody's
worked?
yeah, go ahead. And so I ended up using an EpiPen in a porta potty, and then it was fine, and I just kind of was out of it
That's
for the
right.
rest of the day, enjoying Lollapalooza. But yeah, that was okay. I don't know. These days, tips for the ladies: get yourself I've it's called a tinkle bell, but they come in different names, a shiwi. They're
All
just
right, now
little
it's getting
pieces,
interesting now.
apparati, that you can use that resemble a phallus. We're going there. And you can just pee like a man standing up in the bushes somewhere. Yeah. So if you're ever in a bind, ladies, secure yourselves one of those.
So Gus, I know you're thinking here. How does that work again? So
I don't know.
all
I
right.
don't know. That's hard to think. How do you shoot it?
Okay, Gus, just
Uh,
Google it. Honest to
okay.
God, just Google it.
All right, interesting. So, guys, you have you have an assignment to do that. Melissa, are you a party pro, or do you have any bathroom hack or techniques that that you can tell the audience?
Well, I can't recall of any situations, but I did drink a lot 20 years ago, so I might have just forgotten them. Like I do remember like passing out on the floor.
On the porta potty?
No, it was a
Good. All right. So,
I don't think I have any porta potty stories except that the device she's speaking of is also called a Go Girl. They sell them at Walmart in
wow.
the camping aisle. It's $15. And because I was looking for one the other day, because I live in the desert and we travel a minimum 2 hours to go anywhere, and sometimes you gotta pee and you're like, I gotta go now.
I thought you were gonna say you're gonna do a
I'm blowing
sabaton.
my
That's why you're
mind right
looking
now.
for
I love
one.
this. This is
But I worked on a construction site for 3 years, so porta potties are nothing new to me. So I'm not afraid of them. I mean, you gotta go, man.
Yeah, you guys like have that technique. Are you like a Fast and the Furious type of like hold your breath for a few seconds, get in and get out, I mean, for me, it's no point of you like saying that just go in and get out, right?
Yeah, you make it as quick as you can. Why? I don't want to hang out in there for any reason.
I will literally hold my breath if I can.
Yeah.
And then becomes like a fun game. Like, can I do this before I pass out?
I'm afraid of I'm like definitely afraid of dropping anything in the porta potty. So I'm like obsessive. I'm like making sure there's nothing that can fall. And
That
I'm
is
like
real. Yeah.
it does. And I'm looking for
touch the
snakes,
nail. You can't touch
scorpions.
the
Like,
surface.
is there a spider? Like, I don't want to look in it. I try really hard, but after working at a construction site for 3 years, I'm more comfortable now with it than I was 20 years ago. But I will hold my breath if I have to. Yeah.
Grace told me once she closed her eyes. What are you thinking? Why are you closing your eyes? You don't know what you're touching or you're hitting. Like, don't close your eyes. Open. Like, yeah, I just don't want to go there because we're going to the movement on May, right? So
Oh, nice.
Gus, Grace, me, and Sound Decision are going to the movement. Uh, First thing that Grace asked Sound Decisions, what are we getting? I told them, get a VIP, get one of the easiest bathrooms that we can go because it's gonna be my fucking hell of a problem if we have that. You understand that? And then he got it. I don't care how much is it. Just get me something with a good bathroom because he hates it. I'm gonna hear it the whole night if he got into that. And the thing is, Grace is shy. She doesn't walk around by herself. She's like she hates talking to not hates. She's very shy talking to people. And when you meet her in person, I'm the one. I'm like the interpreter. Like, what do you mean? Like are you mute? Like you want me to do sign language or something? Talk to them. But the thing is, and Drew McCorns know this, right? Because when we first met, but when she warms up, that's where you really see her. Because she's very shy. I'm not sure if you see that on her screen. All right, porta potty. We'll leave it like that before we go to something else. Because whenever we do bathroom, Gus derails it, and we go to something that we're not gonna be able to forget for like 5 days. New house, you know that, right? Every time we go
yes,
here,
I'm aware.
yeah. So let's leave like that. All right, thank you so much. That's Beyond the Neighborhoods. And now we go to the most awaited section, right? And I always said this, guys. You know, I hope people who's listening, hope you get your questions ready. This is the time that you can ask any questions to our guest. Questions that you haven't asked them in person or in their stream. They sign a contract that they will answer any questions that you put in the chat.
It was in the
So
fine print.
it's a fine print. You can't see it. You see the
Yeah.
document I sent you. It's actually there in invisible ink. You know.
It's
You-
like
you-
shit.
so here is our section called "No Dumb Questions." All right, this is No Dumb Questions. It's time for, I guess, like I said, our favorite segment. This is where you throw out the wild, the weird, and whatever. Ask, what? Wait, should I even ask this kind of question? Nothing is off limits, like I said. And remember, there's no dumb question, just fun, thought provoking, and maybe slight controversial answers. So let's get into it. All right, let's see now. Who has the first question? Oh, that was quick. What's your favorite stream to hang out in and in when you're not streaming? Wow, that's a good one, DJ there. You want to answer that first, Bex?
Probably referring back to like my most watched, because we just had the year end, like who's your most watched stream? Definitely Pat Richards, Martino Eduardo, Space Taco Vibes, Sahara's up there. I just feel like, kind of the fam community, there's a lot of support there. And I know there's people who stream that spend a lot of time in my stream. So I try to return the favor. Sahar, Nicked, Ethan, Dub. I'm just going to name a whole bunch of, who else is in chat? Drew, spend a lot of time in Drew. Big shout out Drew McOrange, hang out with DJ Hallowed.
Okay. So, which one's your favorite?
Oh no.
Choose your favorite child.
Yeah,
Oh,
it doesn't stop there. Sorry, Beck. You're not gonna get out that easily. Yeah.
I have to. I watch a lot of Pat Richards, I think because he was the first streamer, well, DJ even. I mean, I thought I knew what DJing was. I make this comparison all the time. And I was just like, oh, you mix one song into another. And then I watched him stream and I was like, oh, and it was kind of like I used to play Super Smash Brothers back with my college roommates, and like I didn't know that you could do combos, where you like do one move and then you attach another move to it and it becomes like a whole other move and it does like way more damage. Like that was me watching Pat for the first time and like the way he just blends creatively. And I think I like right after I started watching him, DJ Spen came to Seattle and he would do the same thing. And like I didn't understand DJing as a concept of like layering like 3 to even 4 songs and doing just like crazy things like that. And I was like, oh, there's this whole other aspect to DJing that I hadn't realized existed. So yeah, I'd probably say, but Martino's a close second just because of the vibe, just because of the DJ, and it's a lot of fun in there.
Great answer. Militia?
My turn.
Yep.
This is a really hard question.
New house, you're not getting out of this too, so get ready.
I mean, I spend a lot of time whenever Chris Cox is online. Cold Storage, I have a bunch of
Las
people
Vegas,
that are online all the time in Utah. Infected Underground. Pete Fox has been a new favorite for me. He's new on Twitch and he's really funny. Let's see, Alicia Martin, Magda Helena. I can't pick one. They're all so awesome. I'm a
There's a
tabber.
follow-up question.
The Mac and Josh. I'm a tabber. I have tabs open and I'm bouncing back and forth because everyone's so awesome. Number one,
turn for that?
I'm gonna. You know what? I'm gonna take the wife
Number one.
answer and just be like my husband. He's my favorite streamer of all time.
That's the right one.
That's the right one. Oh my god. Yep.
So Powernopics, if you like watching a wife yell at a husband play video games, then go ahead and follow him.
That's actually a that's okay. I still want to know. I still want an answer.
I don't know. I honestly
Right.
can't think of a top.
To be fair with Bex, we picked one, and no, 1 and 2. Okay, Bex got 1 and 2. Give me just 1 and 2.
I I love you
Janie,
all.
I'm not gonna shut it.
Why are you doing this to me? I think I'm gonna say the Mac and Josh. He's so fun. He like
Okay.
I feel like everyone from every community comes to his stream at some point, and he has like a polka redeem. So how could I not go for that? Like that's the best redeem ever. And then we always like troll him with like his lights in the background. He's got a funny bird. So he's just like I think my favorite. He's like almost like a variety stream where it's like you don't know what you're gonna get every day. It's so fun. And he's so sweet. Him and his wife are awesome. Yeah.
Look, everybody, it's not a ding on somebody. It's just they have their own favorite, they have their own style. So they love everybody. You already said they love everybody, so it's okay. But they have to have a favorite. It's like my kids, I always have my favorite one, no matter how you want to avoid. You have to answer it, right? New house, your turn.
Okay, so it's the obvious answer. It's Ali K. She's local, met her a bunch of times. I'm really into techno, and if you're going to listen to techno, you got to listen to Ali. But if everybody else is rhyming off their favorites, I can't go without mentioning JFP,
My brother.
Drew McOrange, Funky Nikki, who, funny enough, is my wife's favorite streamer. It's not me. I'm not her favorite streamer. It's Funky Nikki. Violet Sunset, who I think musically is my twin.
Wow.
And there's one other that I'm trying to remember because I watch a lot of daytime ones. So Lavonda Rocks, Becky Safe. That's who I was trying to think of.
Oh, okay.
Becky Safe. So she's a D&B DJ out of the UK.
Yep.
And
she just
so
visited
when
we came in the
yeah,
States,
she was
right?
yeah, she was she was in Northeast US, and she actually came
she did a whole
Toronto
Northeast
and
tour. Oh, she did. Okay.
yeah, she was in Toronto, and I missed her when she was in Toronto. So oh, hi, sweetheart. My wife is now in chat.
She heard it.
Yeah, she's like, oh, he's gonna be on. I'm gonna have to watch him now and make fun of him. But obviously, number one, if you look at just the pure hours that I watch, is Ali K. But I think there are so many good streamers that are kind of at I'll say the lower viewership numbers that are just as good, who put out some really, really good streams and, deserve all the recognition. And obviously, I got to say, Bex, I love your streams. You're just on a little late for me.
New house leaves at 8 p.m. So, yeah.
You say that.
Yeah, I'm past my bedtime for tomorrow. Never mind.
That's why Miss Newhouse is here. She's picking you up, dude. Why are you still up? Gus?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Oh, she does that at 2 hours into my stream. Come on, time to come to bed.
Gus, you're not gonna get out of this. You're a DJ. I'm not a DJ. So you have yes, you are.
No, but
one
for
and
me,
two.
but when I'm in Twitch, I usually go on the Warzone channel. So I usually watch Stone
Games?
Mountain 64 or Aiden. Yeah.
That's fucking bullshit, dude. You're just avoiding the questions. Ah, DJ. What was the question? It says the DJ streamer.
DJ. I
Yes.
just
You
pick
have to.
which
You
one.
have to be fair
Yeah.
with everybody. Answer. You have to be fair.
Okay, usually it's usually the things that are on my channel is like Ali K would be the first one in there. So I watched Ali K, and then that's it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's what I have to force this out for you guys, but yeah, thank you for letting the streamers know. But it's great that it's the support. Everybody has love everybody in their own style. Okay, let's go to the next question. Any other question on the chat? This is your time to ask the question. Nobody have a question?
My
Okay,
husband
so
asked,
I've got
but I'm surprised he didn't ask something more stupid. But that's fine.
Well, what is it? Where is it?
He asked what
Uh,
our favorite food would be.
What favorite food will be?
You could only have
It
one food for the rest of your life. What would it be?
That's gonna be hard for Bex. So uh, we
The same.
we probably narrow it down. We probably narrow it down. Right? Probably
can't have
easier for
wheat.
Bex. Yeah.
I can't have wheat. I can't have eggs. I can't have a lot of things. For me, I think it'd be lobster. Lobster every day.
Lobster every day.
Yeah.
Well, you can't have wheat. You cannot eggs also.
I got a lot of intolerances, and I got histamine issues. Where, yeah, it's fun stuff. Bex is not
Yeah,
head.
okay. Yep.
Just for the record, I did not know.
Sensitive ladies.
I matched these ladies because of I did not know that. So it's not about their intolerance on any food, right?
Yeah.
So how about you, Bex? What kind?
Sushi.
What
Sushi.
any?
Sushi. This is
Ah,
sushi. Yeah.
okay.
okay, but what kind of sushi? You're only allowed one.
No. One
Yeah.
Sushi is not a food. Sushi is a type of food.
Get out of
Yeah.
here.
It's like a class on its own,
Yeah.
right?
Is it sushi with just fish or with or just with
All of the sushi.
oniri or just plain
No.
sashimi?
Sashimi, nigiri, the rolls, all of it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Sushi is cooked, sashimi is raw. Yeah. Well, depends on what sushi, J Nila. Gus.
Me?
Mm.
I would have picked rice only, but if sushi is on the thing, then I'd rather get sushi.
So you're being practical. Rice gets
That's
you
just
everything.
stereotypical. Come on.
Yeah.
Rice.
Well, we're Asian. We live on rice. We live and die on rice. That's our ride or die rice,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I try not to get. Yeah, try not to eat rice once a day, but it's so hard.
No,
Um,
I can't do it. Yeah.
right. So Drew, you see that answer from Bex, right? What kind of pizza? Bex cannot eat pizza. You heard this just first here.
That's what I love about my stream. I'm Bex from Chicago, but I'm not even in Chicago, and I call it the deep dish. But I've
The
never
deep dish,
my
right?
life.
So you have to. You hear this right now.
It's full of irony.
Yes. Yes. I see
What do
one
they from
question.
Chicago say? So if you want deep dish, get it from Lou Malnati's. But if you want actually good pizza, and that's more like tavern style, go to Pequod's.
Okay.
That's what they will
Okay.
say. I bet Jane Neal could back me up on that.
All right. One from Virgil. Question. I'll start with Militia. Who is your idol DJ, dead or alive? And if you were able to meet him, what would you ask them? Now, that's actually a good one.
I love Dead Mouse because he reminds me of myself. He's so sarcastic, and I love it. What would I ask him? My God. How do you produce such bangers? Like, I want to produce, man. I would, yeah. There you go. That's a pretty generic
Nice.
answer. I don't really like I said, I've only been DJing for 5 months now, and it's been 20 years since I've really listened to EDM. And I don't really have that mindset of an idol, or I just appreciate everyone. I don't think of one specific
Good
person.
answer.
I mean, Drum Code is like my favorite label, but like that's a hard question for me because I don't really focus on one thing. So I just thought of him because he's so funny on social media and everything right now. So he stuck out.
Nice. Bex?
This is a hard one, and like I would draw a distinction between like because my favorite producers are not my favorite DJs
DJ.
generally. I
Yep.
just feel like like there's producers that I love, and a lot of my favorite producers I haven't seen DJ, but occasionally I will see a producer that I really like and they DJ, and I'm like, oh, or vice versa. It's a really good DJ, and I'm not necessarily like the biggest fan of their tunage. But DJ Spen, I mentioned this before I came to Seattle, blew my mind
Yeah, I
with
met
what
them a few times. She's great.
all 4 decks just going at it, and just like bringing in tracks, bringing out tracks, using roll here and looping there, and just knowing the tunes like the back of his hand, that he just like knew so well when to cut things, bring things in. And of course he's been doing this for years. If I were able to meet them, what would I ask them? I don't know. That's a really hard question. Whether I could borrow his USB.
Yeah, we met DJ Spen a few times, Chris and I, because he was Mike Freak's mentor, right? So they're always in New York and Brooklyn playing. I think they're playing next month, so we might see them again. So
Yeah, and it was
Yes,
I know
please.
that he's on Twitch, and it was amazing when he was doing, I don't know if they still do this, but they were doing something Tuesdays.
Sundays is always open. Yep.
Sundays he streamed, but he was doing another thing on Tuesdays where people could send in their submission.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and people in chat would be like, yeah, this is good, or no, this sucks. So you'd like, they'd be
Yeah.
like, chat, what do you think of this tune? And I was like, oh God, that's really intimidating. But at the same time, to be able to offer yourself and for feedback for people's tracks, I just thought that was amazing. Like that's really cool that he was doing that, and then he could possibly get signed by Quantize. I was like, that's really awesome.
He's also a very down to earth guy when you talk to him. Like spend probably a good 15 to half an hour chat with him. He's just a really cool guy. Very. You would not even know that how famous is. He's dressed up very normal, right? Not like you don't even know that he's a DJ, right? Because he's just he's fun to chat with, and that's why Mike Freak adore him. He's a great guy. Gus, how about you?
Me?
You pretty seem surprised. You haven't done this before. This is our show,
Yeah,
dude. Every
I
time.
thought you're
the
gonna.
other
I thought
guys.
you're gonna skip me. Skip me. Yeah.
No, I'm not
It would
skipping
be
anybody today.
Danny Tenaglia, and then I'm gonna ask him like, can we play Elements at your crib? Because he has a nice
Nice.
setup.
Get up. Yeah,
Nice.
remember that. New house, sir.
Jeff Mills. And I don't think it would just be a question. I would just pepper him with questions about, kind of the early stages of his career as the Wizard, and then, some of the early techno that he produced and then spun, because he was just such an innovator back then. Like nobody was doing the stuff he was doing. So just kind of ask him questions about that, because I love the history of dance music, and he's so key to it.
Nice. Sanderson said he will be at the movement. I hope it's going to be playing that same
I know.
day. He will be there. I hope it's Saturday.
Yeah,
so we'll be there Saturday.
Yeah, I think Carl Cox had to pull out, and the only replacement they could find was Jeff Mills.
Yeah. The only, right?
Yeah, I know.
Wow. Okay. Any other question?
So I've got one.
Yeah, there you go.
I've got one here. So, and this one's for Bex. What is Malort?
What?
My lord.
What is that?
Okay.
Can you spell that?
Malort, Malort, is a liqueur that was developed, I want to say, in the 20s, like the 1920s, way back in the day, around the Prohibition times. I think it was developed maybe like, originally as an antiseptic or something, perhaps. But this guy, Carlson Jepsen, came to Chicago, Swedish immigrant, and started brewing this beverage. Very, very unique taste based around wormwood. So it's a very bitter kind of anise, bitter grapefruit. And I'm not exactly sure how it's persisted over the years. I think somebody posted something about the history of it in chat, and it's, you know, totally absent in my brain right now. But what you do need to know is that if you go to a Chicago bar and you have friends from Chicago, they will try to get you to drink Malort. It's a whole thing. It's a point of pride being from Chicago and being able to drink Malort. And it's not like, you know, it's like hard to drink. It just tastes awful for most people. I think there are some people out there who are like, it's not that bad. For me, it actually tastes awful. But it's just a Chicago thing, you know, like being really proud of the Bears or something, even though they're really,
The
really
Bears.
bad football team. Yeah,
The
it's
Bulls.
the same thing. Yeah, no, and so I want
Yeah.
to say my first Malort shot was like 15 years ago. I was with some friends at a bar, and somebody has like, it might have been older than that because I think there was a Polaroid picture or something of it. Me taking my first Malort shot.
Huh.
But you make what's called the Malort face, where you drink it. It's really bitter. First of all, it's really bitter in your mouth and on your tongue. And so you make this initial face. You're like, ooh, that's bitter. And then it goes down your throat, and then it like gets into your digestive system. But then the vapors kind of come back up. And so you have a whole rebound face associated with it. And it became kind of a cultural phenomenon on social media, and people started sharing pics over social media. And then Malort, the brand, like noticed what was happening. They kind of leaned into it. And so now Malort has the tagline, you know, Malort, tonight's the night you fight your dad, or Malort, it's the drink for two-fisted
Ah,
drinks. Things like that. It's really kind of meant to embody the like Chicago kind of tough person persona, like, yeah, only real Chicagoans drink Malort. But it's just a thing, and now I use it on my stream. If we collectively reach level 5 on a hype train, I do a shot of Malort, which is awful for me, but a great incentive for the viewers.
it's like a rite of passions, right?
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
being,
yeah.
All right. Virgil said, when I see you, when I go there, let's just have it. Just FYI, right? So we've been thinking about this whole NBHD meetup. The place that we always like go to is Chicago, because Chicago is in the middle, and also there's a hotel called the NBHD neighborhood. So we actually want to, and I think people are scouting, and Janie said he's going to take a look at it. I know Virgil said it once, see if we can have that in there, and then see if, people could, if we can rent it and play there. I mean, hopefully it's going to happen, but we'll see. Militia, do you have anything similar to Malort where we came from?
Well, I just found out I'm half German, so but I'm from Canada. We have poutine, but it's pretty awesome. So I don't think we
I
have.
guess poutine, before you go to your fight with your dad, poutine, that's also a good one, right? Newhouse, or your wife, like, poutine, I'm gonna go and talk to Mrs. Newhouse after this
No,
because I'm late.
no, that's
to
how
10.
you resolve fights. You bring poutine.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
But in Newfoundland, they have something called being screeched in, and it
Sounds painful.
screech is it's like moonshine,
Okay.
and so it involves you drinking moonshine and kissing a codfish.
Wait,
Now,
I'm painting a picture now. Okay.
now
This sounds
when
10 times worse than drinking Malort. This is ridiculous.
apparently I've been screeched in, but I don't remember it, which is half the reason why you go to Newfoundland, or what happens when you go to Newfoundland is you don't remember half the trip because you get hammered.
Wow. That's Mrs. Newhouse. Do you know that? Did your
No,
wife know about
she
that?
she wasn't there.
All right. Now you have something to talk about after this, Newhouse. Okay. Any other? Wow. I find all of this interesting.
I have a gross
listen.
drink. I have a gross drink. My friends created it when I was in probably grade 8 or 9. We went home on lunch break and broke into the I don't think my parents would be watching this. Broke into the liquor
Oh,
cabinet.
it's recorded. I'll send them the link after.
It was a long time ago. I must have been like 13 or something. Broke into the liquor cabinet. Thought it'd be fun to like mix different alcohols. Hey, we're being adults. Woo, whatever. Yeah, they put like freaking ketchup and crap in it. And I made them drink that. I'm like, you are not wasting my father's alcohol. And I made them all drink it. So if you want to have like a ketchup vodka, it's been tried.
Wow. Okay. Malort, ketchup, vodka, and something that you kiss like what fish? That
Kiss
are
a
you kissing?
cod.
A codfish. Woof. Does it have to be a codfish? That's hard
Yes,
to
it
find.
has to be a cod because cod was very. It was kind of the backbone of the Newfoundland fisheries.
Okay.
And then they overfished it. They shut down the fisheries in the 80s, devastated the Newfoundland economy. So the cod is kind of, I don't know, it is the fish of Newfoundland.
Oh,
And
the
it's-
national fish.
Yeah, and it's delicious.
Yeah,
It's
cod's
my
delicious.
favorite fish. It's so good.
Oh yeah.
The fish is that the only fish you can eat? No. I'm joking. I'm joking. Sorry, Gus, how about you? Everybody said something, I don't know, disgusting to drink. So, do you have anything that resembles like anything close to that, even involving a fish or a bird or whatever?
No.
No. How about our lambanog? Right, it's like their moonshine, right? Do you have any bad version of that back home?
Lambanog? No, I haven't tried it actually.
You never tried lambanog. Lambanog is the Filipino version of
It's
moonshine.
coconut,
So
right? Is it coconut or rice?
it's. I think they're both. There's two versions right now. I think there's coconut based alcohol, and then
Mhm.
there's the rice based alcohol. I mean, it's actually pretty good if it's done right, but it's gonna be hard on your stomach if you drink the cheap ones. So, okay. No more questions. Is that it?
Newhouse had one question.
There was
Oh.
one question that came up in chat, and I just regurgitated it, so I'm not going to take credit for it.
Newhouse's question.
Someone asked if you. I gotta
Where's
go.
that?
It's about
you-
streaming.
If you could start from scratch,
Yeah.
like go back
Ah,
and start from scratch. Oh wow. What would you
What's-
what
what's
would you do differently?
Balloons, dude.
It's an Apple thing.
Thing, yeah.
It's an
You just
Apple
do hard
thing.
and yeah, okay.
Oh yeah, I can.
Okay.
Yeah, you do hard too. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead with the question.
What? Oh, we don't.
Damn.
I don't have that.
Can I get the
Come on.
lasers?
Yeah, oh my god. All right,
There
what's-
we go.
Holy shit. Yeah, oh my god.
How come I don't have a cool background? What the hell?
I thought
Jealous.
Sony.
Are we going to want us to answer that question?
Yeah, what's the question? Sorry. But this is how we are. We get easily distracted with
No, I
lights and balloons.
When I was working, I had a bad habit. Like in Teams meetings or Zoom, I'd like put on the funny glasses and crap, and like I would totally disrupt the team meeting because I was like playing with the graphics all the time. But to answer the question, what would I do differently? Number one, I'd get a Mac because this thing is a lifesaver. I've sold my soul for it, but that has solved a lot of streaming issues. And I would I sold my soul. Well, my husband sold his soul for it, I should say. Thank you, dear husband, for letting me get it.
The husbands, they're great.
So just like not sweating the small stuff. Like I would have meltdowns over so many things. Like now playing wouldn't work, and I'm like, I felt like I was such a small streamer. I needed that on my stream to make it interesting. I actually found that when I didn't have it, I had more engagement because people were like, oh, what track is that? I want to know what it is. So it's created more engagement. So don't worry about that. And simple's really, like I was saying earlier, like there's people with the most basic setups, but they look really good and clean. So I spent a lot of time trying to figure that out, and I really didn't have to. I could have just kept it easy. And
There's a problem. Blame the husband too. That also works. At least here in this household.
No, it was usually me. I'm an overthinker, and I kind of like, yeah.
Wives overthinker? That's not true. Yeah.
But yeah, I would say just keeping it simple and don't worry about your viewers. Like I said, I went to that whole like existential crisis of what am I doing on Twitch? I'm here to have fun, man. You're here.
Yep.
Think about the first day you thought about streaming. It probably wasn't. I'm gonna make $1 million. It's like I want to have some fun and play some cool music. That's what I would do different. Just don't overcomplicate it.
How about you, Bex?
That's hard. And I mean, definitely like put less pressure on myself is for sure a go-to answer. But also, I started the deep dish being like, I love deep house. This is my favorite genre of music. I'm going to play deep house on my stream called the Deep Dish. And anybody who comes into my stream, I'm going to tell them, hey, my name is Bex from Chicago. I like deep house. Welcome to the Deep Dish. Here I am a year and a half later. I play deep house on Sundays for an hour to 90 minutes, but I'm also playing slow jams, hip hop, UKG,
There
dubstep,
you go.
like all of the genres. After 6 months in, I just kind of like got bored with house, and I was like, my brain wants to do something different. I want to mix different things. I don't want to limit myself to just the four on the floor. Deep house is jazz, and I have a jazz background. I grew up playing jazz trumpet, and listening to a ton of jazz, and so like I gravitated to deep house
I
because
love those sets, by the way.
the most
Dex, those jazz for
jazzy
me.
genre.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just like a huge influence on what I spin. But then I was like, oh, there's jazzy D&B, there's jazzy dubstep, there's Mark Farina. Again, I listened to mushroom jazz for like years and years, and I was like, oh, he DJs that. Like, what's to stop me from doing it? It still has the same vibe. It's just not the same BPM, and it's not the same genre. But for a while I was like, oh, I kind of pigeonholed myself, and now I play all the different genres, but people still come into my stream and I'm like, hey, my name's Bex from Chicago, welcome to the Deep Dish, we like a deep jazzy and then some. And then I have to be like, and then some today means UKG and some like heavy dubstep, and I don't just play deep house. And so there's just like extra qualification that I have to do. And I don't necessarily like, it's good, I think, when you're starting out to have like your go-to genres, because that's how people get to know you. That's how you get booked on raid trains that, have trains for those similar genres. And that's kind of how you find your niche in your network. But at the same time, I always wondered if by like starting by saying like, I'm a deep house streamer, that I pigeonholed myself unnecessarily. Because now, every time people come into stream, I'm like, welcome to the Deep Dish. We play deep house, but a lot of other things.
Nice. I will have Newhouse answer this last question. Go ahead, Newhouse.
What would I do differently? I think kind of the opposite of Bex is I would have focused a lot more early on. Like my very early streams, I was kind of all over the place. Play a little bit of this, play a little bit of that. And I found it was really overwhelming because I didn't, to start off, my music collection was 20 years old, and we were talking like really shitty quality MP3. So I had to grow a collection. And so I ended up getting this massive collection, half of which I'd never listened to. And it just got overwhelming. So when I narrowed it down, I just kind of focused on two genres, and then eventually three. That became a lot more manageable for me. I think the other thing I would have done, I probably I'll say it all falls under the umbrella of networking. I'm a horrible networker. I am an introvert by nature. I would have gone out and tried to get on more raid trains, and I would have tried to just be present for more streams, or be strategic about it. And I'm an accountant, so I'm a numbers guy. So I look at my numbers and I look at where I want to be. And I know that from a growth perspective, that's kind of stunted my growth. That being said, I'm happy with where I'm at. So, but yeah, I think those are kind of the two things I would have done differently.
Very nice. Very nice. Well, it's hate to wrap it up, guys. This has been real treat for us, having both of you ladies and also Newhouse to guests on the show. Before we wrap tonight, we just want to say a heartfelt thank you for both of you, incredible guests, Bex and Militia. Thank you both for not just bringing the energy to the show, but also opening up and sharing your journey in Twitch with us. It's not always easy to talk about things on Twitch, the grind, the growth, the challenges, and also the joy, right? But tonight, I think you showed grace, humor, and authenticity, the realness, right? Thank you for that. I think these stories, I always said, reminds why we still do this, right? To connect, to lift each other up, to show there's no one way to find your path on music, on Twitch, without the community, right? The community is what does that. I know you're both making a space in the community in your own unique way, and I think we're just grateful that you can share that, some of that, with us tonight. But before we wrap it up, I'm gonna just give the stage to you guys to promote any of your shows on Twitch and on IRL. I'm gonna start with you first, Bex.
If you happen to be in and around the Seattle area, I do have a show this Saturday. I am opening up for Mr. V, who is also on Twitch, renowned DJ and producer, is coming to
great.
Seattle. Yeah, I'm super excited about it. It's my first time kind of opening for an out of town DJ for Viva Recordings. And, you know, I was like, oh, maybe I pigeonhole myself with Deep House. They're the Deep House outfit in Seattle. And so they have their own Twitch stream. They saw me streaming. They're like, why don't you come play for us sometimes? And so, like, you know, maybe I take that back.
Nice.
It's a good thing I started with Deep House because now I'm getting booked by them and opening up for DJ Mr. V. So that's really freaking awesome. And then, yeah, the day after that, I guess is Easter, but also 420, and we might be doing a little something. I always stream on Sundays, and so it's
Nice.
you know, that big eventful Sunday. I think there's a lot of things happening that weekend, and then yeah, I will be in Philly the weekend after that. We've got a lot of fam heading over to Philly for reasons, but I know
I
that
got my tickets.
yeah. It's exciting. I think yeah, Pat Richards having a show Friday the 25th.
Friday night.
And Supa's doing a little thing on the 26th. So there's going to be a lot of Twitch fam in Philly. Yeah, so maybe I'll run into you.
I'm excited that 26th. I think Grace and I are going to that thing with Supa on that Saturday.
Oh, awesome. Okay, yeah. Well, then I'll see you there.
Hope to see you guys there.
Cool. Awesome.
Great. Thank you, Bex. How about you, Militia?
Thank you so much.
So I finally decided to set a schedule for myself to be more regular to that sounds
Nice.
more regular to hopefully get partner one day. So Mondays and Fridays will be from 3 to 6 p.m. Pacific. Wednesdays 4:30 to 7:30 p.m. Pacific, and you know, little pop-ups here and there. I tend to jump in at 11 o'clock at night sometimes because I can't sleep or I'm bored. So look out for that. My 6-month Twitch anniversary is coming up on
Congratulations.
May the 4th be with you. So
Oh.
it's something fun on that day. I also have an ongoing challenge on my stream right now. So you know how we all have like our channel points that we can redeem for like the little flashy things that pop up.
Yeah.
Well, Twitch actually has this little cool thing now where you can have a challenge and you can accumulate everyone's points. So we have 100,000 point goal where you can, every stream, you can only commit so many. But once we hit 100,000 channel points, I'm going to do my inflatable purple dino stream. If you guys didn't see last Sunday of last week, DJ Hollowed had a train wreck raid train where y'all tried something new. And instead of me, you know, trying a different genre or whatever, I decided to do something I've never done in DJ in an inflatable dinosaur costume, which was very difficult. But we're going to do it again as soon as we hit that 100,000 points. So it would
There's a cheat code for that, right? So hit me up, I'll tell you, because Grace used to have like 50,000 for me dancing, and then I think Real Ass actually found a cheat code to actually get that on the one stream. I'm kidding. But yeah, good. Thank you for every ladies for being on the show. I really appreciate it, and I hope you had fun. I know it was scary at the beginning, but I hope it didn't scare you guys, and I hope you can come back and join us. And New House, thank you, buddy, for guesting. We love to get you back. You GFP has been big support in the show, and to everybody else, right? If you guys want to tell your story and be on the show, and I know I reached out to a few that's already in the chat. please, I would love to see you guys on the show, so you can tell the whole world, or how you got into Twitch and what the journey is. And we love to share that through the guys next door. And please keep supporting us. This season, I'm not sure how many episodes are we gonna be in, but we're gonna, as long as we're having fun, and as long as people have stories to tell, we're gonna do this show every Monday. And thank you so much for everybody for being here. We owe all of this to you guys, and appreciate again from the guest ladies. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And hope to see all of you guys on the Twitch world. And these are the guys next door. Happy Monday, and have a good rest of the week with you. Oh, look at Doggy. Hey, Doggy. Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Ladies, can you stay for a second? So just a thank you before you jump off. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the listeners, viewers.
Don't forget to file your taxes, everyone.
Last day tonight. Well, oh, last day tomorrow for taxes.
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
I'll never compromise. I've tried 1,000 tries and now